Hello lovely people, this is Rom D and welcome back to another Minecraft update video. We are in snapshot 19W02A. It's the first snapshot of 2019. And yes, we have got one new block and two blocks with added functionality and a crafting recipe. Blocks that still don't do anything and still don't have any crafting recipe are the stone cutter, the smithing table, and the fletching table. They are still to be added with any functionality or crafting recipe. But two blocks that now have functionality and crafting recipe are the cartography table and the lectern. Now I can show you this here. The cartography table is crafted pretty simple with two pieces of any planks and two pieces of paper. And the lectern is crafted with four of any wooden slab and a bookshelf, making the lectern kind of more expensive than the cartography table. I don't quite know about this, but okay. And then we have the campfire, which is also craftable with three of any wood, stripped wood or log, as far as I know, 3 sticks and coal or charcoal. Now let's get to the campfire first, because it is a new block and it is the only block why I'm in survival at this point in time. First of all, if you just look over it, even though there seem to be quite a lot of fumes coming from it, it doesn't actually suffocate you, which I think would be a cool feature, that if you are above the campfire, it should also have a kind of meter and you at some point should be poisoned by carbon monoxide, actually. But that is not the case at this point in time. But you might ask the question, because with the stone cutter, if you stand on it, it does absolutely nothing. If you stand on top of the campfire, yes, it does hurt you. Obviously, what just happened here was I kind of stood on the edge of the block, and then it doesn't hurt you. But as soon as you go on the block, unless you are sneaking, it does hurt you. However, when you are sneaking, it doesn't. Meaning, I guess this uses the same code as the magma block. I would think possibly, because also on the magma block, if you sneak, you don't take damage. So I think you should still take damage on the campfire, even if you sneak, because you are literally standing in fire, while with the magma block, it's just kind of hot, but not actual fire. So that is a mechanic they might want to change. Then you might ask yourself, after you have crafted the campfire, can you just pick it up? Well, not with your bare hands. Then it breaks into 2 charcoal, as far as I have seen. But with Silk Touch on any tool, you can mine the campfire. However, it is quickest with an axe. So if you now do this, we put down a second campfire. First we mine this one with a Silk Touch axe. I just click double here, but that's no big deal. So once again, this is it if you mine it with a Silk Touch axe. And if you use a Silk Touch pickaxe, I think it's same length as if we would use a Silk Touch shovel. But every tool that can have Silk Touch will drop the campfire. If you just have a normal tool, let's do this for the grindstone, which has a functionality since a few snapshots, and also has got a crafting recipe, in case you are wondering. If you now just well, the lag is intensifying here. If we now just grindstone this X and now break this campfire, it drops 2 charcoal. I had 8 in my inventory already, so it like always drops 2 charcoal. So let us remind again how you craft it with 3 of those and 1 piece of coal, meaning it's not the ideal version of turning those things into charcoal, but in theory, if you don't have any way of smelting at this point in time, you can just craft a campfire and turn it into charcoal, basically. If you have 1 piece of coal, you can get 2 pieces of charcoal out of this, which, as I said, is not a good way to do it, because you could get 3 charcoal out of those. But yeah, it does drop charcoal in 2s, even though you only put 1 piece of coal in. So maybe that's a game mechanic that you somehow want to use. Well, then we come to the lectern. Well, it does what a lot of people said it would do. If you have a written book, and this needs to be a written book, I could try it with a book and Quill, which is actually called Writable Book, where Mumbo Jumbo of the Hermitcraft server was a few episodes ago pretty confused how he got the idea that a book and Quill is called a writable book. Well, it is called that, but just in the names. So you can actually, well, that's actually new. When I tested this in creative, it didn't work, but I guess that could have been down to lag. So you can place a like writable book here too, but then you can't actually write in it. So you then need to take the book back, because as soon as you place it here, you can't write in it. As soon as you take it back, you can write in it, and then you can place it on the lectern and use click, and it will show you the text that is written. That also works with a written book. I first thought that it only worked with those written books because it didn't want to work with the book and Quill, but now it does. Yeah, a written book can like also be viewed and taken, and supposedly viewed by multiple players at the same time. So like never mind how much players you have, anyone who clicks a lectern that has a book on it will be able to read the text that is in it. So this is how the lectern works. And then last but definitely not least, the cartography table. Now, how does this work? Well, it makes map crafting slightly easier. If you have a filled-in map, like this one here, and you want to copy it, you put the filled-in map in the top, an empty map in the bottom, and you get 2 of the same map. What if you want to zoom this map out? Well, then you can use a piece of paper and it will zoom the map out. There are, as far as I know, 4 times you can zoom out, but then you always have to refill the map. So if you now take this map, then it is only partially filled, and we need to fill it further all the way. You can still zoom out of, you should still be able to zoom out of not fully filled maps, and it actually works. Yes, the like display kind of doesn't really show you that it properly works, but it does. So this is now supposed to be level 4 out of 4, and now we should no longer be able to zoom out any further, but we could copy this map with an empty map. So this is the cartography table making making maps more easy. That's what I wanted to say. And for the campfire, a neat little effect that I noticed is if you place the campfire under a block. Let's actually get this one block further down. And then place the grass block here. Then the smoke still comes through. So you, if you want to, can now make smoking blocks. That's interesting, I must say. So yeah, so much for this snapshot. There might be some other features that got added that I missed. I, this time around, didn't look at the change log because I just wanted to showcase the obvious changes in this snapshot, and this is what I did. But having said that, I now still checked out the change log in case I forgot something important. And well, there are two things connected to the campfire that might be nice to know. So, first of all, if it is on top of a hay bale, it acts as a smoke signal, meaning that you can see the smoke much higher up and much further away than any normal campfire. This is then also indicated by the block state of signal fire true. And as you can see, it also has two other states, lit and waterlogged. This is because you can well, stop the campfire from burning. And I do believe then if you have that, so let me just recreate that quickly and go into survival. And if you now try to break it, I guess it will still like drop what it did before. Indeed. So you can also then only get it with a silk touch tool, and axe is the best one to get that campfire. So if we now silk touch it, we again get a campfire that is actually burning, so it doesn't keep this on-off state. But if you turn the campfire off, then you can actually relight it with a flint and steel. So much for the campfire, except for that it can also cook up to 4 items. So I just put a fish in here, and you see it's here. I can put another fish here, and then I could possibly give myself some mutton, and that goes here, and then another fish goes here, and it will cook those items, but as the web page says, very slowly. So while it cooks very slowly, we might be able to just move away from here that it isn't so loud, and just take a quick look at the chain set. Pretty much those main things here are the thing I already noticed. Then here on the campfires, it says a thing with a smoke signal, that it is a cozy light source and can be lit and unlit, and that it cooks the food. And obviously a decorative fireplace without fire spread, which is a good thing, I guess. All of those like other stuff we have already seen. Maybe for the lectern, that if you change the page, it emits a redstone pulse, so basically like an observer, I guess. And you can use a comparator to like get the book reading progress, so depending on how many pages the book has, the like output will be between 0 and 15. And then some things for commands like team message, that is possibly quite helpful for like custom maps where there are multiple teams that you can only message your team members. That might make sense. Yeah. And some other bugs, mostly connected to luck, spectators being able to interact with blocks, and well, things writing other things, like here. So some things have been fixed here. Yeah, do we have cooked things? Yes, we have a cooked fish and the cooked mutton. So you can just put some food on here and quite slowly it will cook. And it kind of is slightly better than the furnace in the way that you like obviously, even if you cook a lot of things, will eventually need less coal. It also takes more time, but I guess less resources at some point. And one thing that I'm still intrigued by, does it go out if it rains? No, it doesn't. Okay. That is possibly a good way, a good thing, or whatever. So much for clearing the weather. Anyway, thank you very much for watching now, and you'll hear me pretty soon again. Bye bye.